and just finding out about the family, where so-and-so, what's he's doing, where does he live, or where is she. The first year we had the reunion over in this playground. After that was such a success, we wanted to do it again the following year. Remember what they told us?
Yeah. They said that they were going to
They
build...
meaning the city of Philadelphia.
They said they were going to build a highway through the park and we couldn't use it. And so we didn't know what we were going to do. So then I asked you, what we decided to say, well, maybe we can get the playground over here on 84th and Lines. And then you wrote a letter to, was Wilson Good, the managing director,
He was
right?
managing director.
Yeah, he was really a help to us.
He was very helpful
yes,
to us.
Yes, he was. We started in 1981 having a reunion over here on 84th and Lines Avenue. And we were really blessed with the weather, except one year. Remember one year it was so hot. And,
I remember.
Here was this elderly couple out there, and I think the temperature must have been close to 100
degrees.
Like in their 70s. They were sitting on a chair with an umbrella over their head, but they just did anything to get out there. And we have lost a lot of people since we've been having a reunion. Young too. A lot of young people have passed. And it's a lot of work, but isn't it worth it, Mr. Chapman? I mean, this is your first year with us, but I mean, don't you feel good about it?
Yeah, because it seems like everybody enjoyed themselves, just to see each other for the year. Where they move and they talk about old times and what used to be here and there and just reminisce.
And then they go sing, and some of them are just sing together, and they just have a good time on that particular day, and they look forward to it. But they start asking the first year, are you having a reunion again? And we have it every third Saturday in August.
You'd be surprised how far the distance people come.
People are so sentimental about Ellenwood. I have a brother live down in Virginia. He has a long drive that goes into his house, to his yard, and he's going to name it Ellenwood. And I said, you bringing Ellenwood to Virginia, but I mean, people are just that sentimental about Ellenwood,
Hello, a scene of how Ellenwood was.
Hello, I'm glad to meet everybody from Ellenwood. I've been here at every reunion that they have had. And this is God's country. You never find another country like this is down here. I lived down here 77 years.
Hello, everybody. I'm the wife of the late Reverend Earl O. Simpkins. And I belong to Enon Baptist Church, 54th and Sampson. Reverend Roy Madry is my pastor. And I've been here over 50 years. And I enjoyed every bit of it. And I thank God that we're back here again.
My name is Mordell Purifoy. I came to Philadelphia in 1922. My mom and daddy brought me here from the South. I went to Ellis Carey School for the first grade. In 1926, they built Wolf School, and I got a transfer from there to Wolf School. I graduated from Wolf School. I grew up at 8424 Suffolk Avenue. I married in 1939. I buried my 13 children out here in Ellenwood. I raised them here. I think Ellenwood is a great place to be. I see so many faces today, so familiar faces. It's always great for us to meet once a year. I'm looking forward for next year. My talking is about my dad, my sisters, my brothers, and my mother, which is here with me. My mother's here with me. And it was 12 of us, and we grew up in Ellenwood and went to school from here. My children, my father was a committeeman down here for quite a few years and was very well known, Charlie Purifoy.
What value to history does this piece of land called Eastwick hold? When the Swedish first came to this country in the 1700s, Eastwick was one of the first places the settlers built homes and farmed. In 1777, just below the junction of the Delaware River and the Schuylkill River, on the very land that is now known as Eastwick, is where one of the most courageous battles in the American Revolution took place at Fort Mifflin. General George Washington sent this message to the garrison of about 400 men holding the fort.
The post with which you are now entrusted is of the utmost importance to America and demands every exertion of which you are capable for its security and defense.
Andrew M. Eastwick, for whom the section Eastwick was named, lived from 1810 to 1879. He was a pioneer locomotive builder, world traveler, and landowner. He associated with the likes of the great botanist John Bartram. Of all his feats and known compassion, the construction of Eastwick's great mansion is most important to this story. It was a huge building, a glorious mansion for its time. Its magnificent tower reached 100 feet with a tank on top, able to hold many gallons of water. From the tower, one could see the surrounding city, including the winding Schuylkill River and entire meadows. It stood at this very spot, within yards of the still existing John Bartram House. The Eastwick Mansion burned down in 1896. At the turn of the century, Philadelphia was booming in prosperity and one of the finest cities in the world, despite having a reputation of also being one of the most corrupt cities in the world. Developers in Eastwick were busy splitting the land into 10,000 lots and running excursion trains from Center City for potential buyers. Free beer and ice cream were used for encouragement. 25-foot lots were sold for $50 each with a $2.50 down payment. Way on the outskirts of town fits this site of Tinicum Avenue during the early part of the century. The Bell Road station once stood at Bell Road and Island Road. Eastwick's famous Suffolk racetrack was located at 81st Street and Island Road. This strange piece of land with its controversial past that reaches back for centuries has always been a place of various names. Names that the people loved, cherished, and refused to compromise in the midst of change. Employment was a major cause for many inhabitants who moved to Elmwood in the early part of the century. This was during the Industrial Revolution, before it all came to a halt. Eastwick was ideal, especially for those who worked at the nearby massive Hog Island shipyard during the First World War. General Electric was also within walking distance. Fells Naphtha Soap Company at Woodland Avenue and Island Road was even closer. The huge Baldwin Locomotive Company was first at 16th and Spring Garden Street, then moved to Chester Pike in Eddystone, Delaware County. Baldwin was very popular for Eastwick employment. There were also the Sun Shipyard, Ford Motors in Chester, Pennsylvania, Scott Paper, and others. The Westinghouse plant in Leicester, Pennsylvania was also where many of the Elmwood community worked, especially my relatives. Like most places, many black families in Elmwood originally migrated from the South, with a pioneer leading the way. My family was no exception. The pioneer in our family was Cleveland Gillette, known commonly as the Kid. Kid Cleve, they call him. How'd you get on there?
My brother got me on there. They got me on in 1941. They got me on there because at that time I was working in a garage, was making about $15 a week. And they said, well, soon as start hiring, we'll get you on a Westinghouse. And so they did. So they brought me an application, I filled it out, went down there, and at that time, about 1,000 men was at the gate trying to get in, try to get in Westinghouse, and the man had my name, and he come out there and looked all over all those guys and called my name. Them guys said, that little old man, they called him and didn't call us? So how is that? I wonder why he called that little old man. During Christmas time, I used to build a stage for my brother, and I used to do a little dance for him called Black Bottom, yes, you got it. He said, Black Bottom, yes, you got it. Black Bottom, yes, you got it. Black Bottom, yeah, you can take off, I tell you. The other day, she called the barber shop. Place now, they call it Cobblestone. We got a pretty house back there. Every time it rained, have a storm out there, you'd be a flood back there. And they had to go back there and scare from boats and get the people out. They couldn't get out.
In 1933, the East Coast experienced a terrible storm. Because of its low level, Eastwick's condition was disastrous. The damage was so severe that President Franklin Delano Roosevelt granted the services of the Pennsylvania contingents of the Emergency Conservation Corps to rebuild the dikes which caused floods in Eastwick and in Tinicum Township, Delaware County. It seems that Eastwick has always been a problem to Philadelphia. In 1725, the first official act was made towards Eastwick. The Pennsylvania Assembly authorized the owners to build dikes to hold back the tidewater. This act led to many problems as to whose responsibility it really was to maintain the dikes. In 1762, several companies were authorized to keep up the dikes and build the property owners. In the years that followed, millions of dollars were spent. Not far from that graveyard of bricks